take it, if you know what I mean.
I do.
But preferably not take it.
That's a Joyce, and that's the way you do your business. Daniel, going into the 10th round now, okay, most people seem to have it like this. One judge had you, one judge had Joe, another judge was really tight. How did you have it, Dan? As you got up for the 10th round, your eyes closed, how did you have it?
I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know. I was just fighting. Trying to figure out a way I can break him down and get inside and let my shots work. But,
were you surprised at some of the punches he took? I know Joe says he's got a good chin, but you caught him flush, perfect shots. Round 3, round 6, round 7.
No, he rode the punches well. I was probably a bit trigger happy, but I need to be smarter and just pace myself for maybe a bit more. It is what it is, though. Joe won.
And Joe, it was just a jab. You didn't go chasing him with the right hand or looking for left hooks. You just threw the jab, turned your shoulder, moved away, and avoided him. It was a simple tactic in the end. A good tactic, but a simple one.
Yeah, I felt it landed, and I was mixing it up. And
one second, Joe. Yeah, Dan, you can go. Sorry, Martin. You go and get your ice into. I appreciate it. Frank, can I pull you in? Is that possible? Yeah. Sorry about that, Frank. I've got to interview him, but I don't like doing it when the kid's got to.
You interview when you win,
and you interview when you lose. So Joe, it was the jab was just working non-stop. And could you sense that in the very first round that the jab was starting to get to him, starting to hurt him?
Yeah, I started looking at that eye, and it was starting to swell up as well, and I felt quite comfortable landing it, and I was moving away from his right hands and trying not to get too close, because if I get close, that's when he's going to let them go. And try not to get backed up on the ropes also, because that's when he lets them go, and I don't want to get hit with any when he lets them go, you know what I mean?
Because they do come across. Frank, it was a brilliant 9 rounds and then a bizarre 36 seconds. At what point in the fight did you think that Daniel could lose, or were you convinced even going into the 10th that he could still win the fight?
The eye was obviously a massive problem. It was coming. You just seen it. You couldn't see out of it. It was what it was. So he was in trouble. Joe, dumb. I said at the beginning of the fight, it's going to be about who gets the jab off. It's a battle of the jabs. Who's ever got the better jab, they're going to control the fight. And it was. I thought it was pretty even, the fight. There was nothing in it. But at the end of the day, couldn't see out the eye, and Joe did what he had to do. He's strong, he's smart, and he come for it.
Now you spoke in private to Daniel there. What did he mention to you? Because it looked to me that he was in terrible pain when he went down.
He said he got something, I don't know, felt like it was a nerve or something. He said it shot for him, and that was what it was.
We're going to have to fast forward.
And that's what it looked like. We were quite stunned, not just at how well you boxed, Joe, but at the ending when he went down. Were you a bit? And Frank, with Daniel, I know
age.
I didn't even. I just about started boxing. I was still at uni.
There you go.
So
and you think, and Anthony Joshua at his age wasn't even a pro. So it's something to learn from. But obviously, your handicap is what it is. But listen, if you never had the eye, I'm sure Joe's not complaining about it. But the eye, who knows how it would have ended? It was getting very interesting, the fight, wasn't it? But it is what it is. Prime example is David Hay.
Yeah. David's
Cole
mentioned
Thompson.
that already.
What happened with him? He came back and won a title. Bradus Prescott. We all thought he'd finished that Amir Khan completely. He came back. This happens to numerous fights. Now it's the sign of what you are.
Yeah.
He rode the punches well.
I guess we'll start right here. What's up? We got about an hour to kill before ShoBox comes on. I guess we'll start here before we go with Canelo. So, there's some conflicting reports right now on what's going on with the WBO. It is not officially confirmed yet that the WBO will allow Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury to be for all the belts. In fact, we have a soundbite here. Obviously, we can't play the whole thing from the Mike and Coke podcast from theathletic.com, which I have right here open, and I have some timestamps for you. And I guess this is a good place to start. Because, see, what's going on out here now is there's a lot of, fake news, really fake news. People just be making up shit and just doing videos and saying this is confirmed, that is confirmed, this is going to happen, that is going to happen. But that shit don't be true, man. What I've noticed is a lot of people read headlines, or titles of articles, to dumb it down a little bit, no disrespect. And they just go do videos and run with it without doing no research. So here's the source right here. Let's start right here. Obviously, we're not going to play the whole thing. And in fact,
Maurizio's up and down.
Hold on. In fact, I put a link down below in the description box for you to be able to listen to this on your own time. I'm actually a subscriber to The Athletic, so I'm not sure here. I put it in the chat too. Oh shit, it didn't go. I'm actually a subscriber to The Athletic for only $1 a month. Hold on. So, makes me no difference. But here, let me play this little piece for you guys. Let's see. We're at got to get to the 23-minute mark. And it's going to be Eddie Hearn who was on the show, which was released yesterday, the 19th. And he gives updates on Canelo's looming deal with the DAZN. Right now, nothing is official. Matchroom Canelo is not signed a 2-fight deal with Matchroom just yet. It's looking like it's very, very close, but nothing is official. The first fight will be Avni Yildirim. What are they saying? February the 27th could take place down in Florida because they have crowds down there. Also, Billy Joe Saunders in May. Nothing's confirmed yet. But here, let me get to this timestamp for you. One more minute to rewind here. Yeah, let's start right here. Now, obviously, once again, I can't play the whole damn thing. That's bootlegging. But we can play some of it for you to pretty much break it down and talk about it in chat. So I am T Street Controversy with FV360.com. Take your time out. Please like the video. It doesn't take too much time, and it means a lot to us here. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And follow me on Twitter at TStreet4Life. Right down below, also at the top of the description box. Please subscribe.
Remain intact, taking the percentage. I don't think you like that very much, but I have a huge amount of respect for Maurizio and the belts. But this fight, it just tells you who is the best, doesn't it? You know, there's no arguments. You know, Mike, you believe that Fury wins this fight. If Anthony Joshua wins this fight, you have to sit there and say he's the best heavyweight in the world, and vice versa for me. You know, if it doesn't go our way, Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. But this is the first time in a long time that you can genuinely say it. And that, for me, is bigger than the belts. You know, that's about proving who is the best, who is the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As boxing goes, is how the heavyweight division goes. So just a couple things on when you talked about the devils and the details. Is there still talk about having a second fight being part of this deal? And I had heard that there's some momentum being made that maybe you can keep the WBO belt to be part of this fight.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, it is a 2.
Wait, I kind of went a little bit too far ahead right there. This is actually about Usyk versus Joe Joyce for the title. So we got to back up some. We got to go back to Canelo. My bad. That's for later on in the video. That's the later on timestamp. So my bad. We'll talk about that later. We're going to start right here. Wait, the 11:45 mark. So once again, I put a link to this whole thing down below in the description box. All right, yeah, we'll start right here. So once again, please like the video. It doesn't take too much time, and subscribe. And we're going to talk about it all.
You know, so you know, we know that he has the Yildirim mandatory, which he wants to fit in between his notorious schedule of May and September, which is great to see him so active. We are in discussions with a couple of venues at the moment, and I'm hoping we can get there. You know, hoping that we can finalise a deal. I think, you know, it's 6 weeks away, so we really need to get that announced this week, and hopefully he chooses us. It would be a real honour to promote Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, Eddie, I was told that the major deal points at least were already agreed to with you and Canelo's side. Obviously, you need a site, and we know Texas has shut down boxing for the foreseeable future. Does Miami make the most sense? We heard you talk about that in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have had a couple of conversations with Miami, the Hard Rock Arena there, Miami Dolphins, which is an incredible venue. And, you know, as a fight fan, as a Brit, you know, it'd be an honor to promote an event at the Miami Dolphins ground. You know, we know that Miami has been hot and cold, mainly cold for boxing over the years, but it's always I've always had that curiosity as to why. You know, it is one of the states that is open right now. It is one of the states that's holding major events. I guess it's more of a risk in terms of numbers than Texas because of the lack of major fight events there. But Canelo Alvarez is someone that transcends that. You know, I think this isn't an unknown world champion. This is one of the biggest stars in the sport, if not the biggest star in the sport. So, you know, I think that wherever you go will be interesting, and it would be nice to do something different. But I do love Texas.
All right, I put the link to that the Mike and Coke podcast from The Athletic down below in the description box, and I also shared it in the chat. So once again, as it stands, nothing is confirmed for Canelo versus Yildirim, but it's getting very close and is going to be taking place likely on DAZN Global. Except down in Mexico. I think Canelo has, what's his TV deal down in Mexico? So it'll be a 2-fight deal with Canelo defending his WBC title. Basically, Canelo right now is the WBC and WBA Super World Champion at service. What else can we? At 168 pounds. He wants to be undisputed. And what you're noticing is he's fighting his mandatory. Now, of course, he can be franchise champion, but he's not. So we have to take our hats off to Canelo for that. So Avni Yildirim has been mandatory for God knows how long. I covered Avni Yildirim when he got beat up by Chris Eubank Jr. In fact, let me pull some tape up here for you. That was a very entertaining press conference, by the way, for the build-up for that fight. That was in the World Boxing Super Series, the first season. I also covered Avni Yildirim when he fought. I forgot if he was winning that fight or not. Anthony Durrell on PBC on Fox. I covered that as well. Eubank. Let's see. Let's go back down memory lane a little bit. Yeah, I covered that fight. I don't want to pull up any highlights. Let me see if I can give you some brief highlights, just to give you a little feel of who he is. Put it this way. No disrespect, but let's call the shit like it is. Avni Yildirim go get his shit pushed in. Now, I cover Avni Yildirim fights. I'm not just some guy that's just coming out here thinking I watch his fight. It'd be me. All my post-fight videos are live, real time. I watch them shits. He gonna get his shit pushed in. It's gonna be ugly. Hey, let's go skim through this, get you some tape. So once again, nothing's confirmed yet, but it's looking like it's inching very close, and Eddie Hearn is not trying to say it's a done deal. Now, the other option is for Canelo to fight Avni Yildirim over on PBC. Will it be on pay-per-view, or will it be on free TV? That would be awesome if they can build Canelo fight around, WWE, get some Super Bowl promotion, going. It'll be free TV if they do it that way. But who's going to pay for that? Canelo commands a lot of money. And right now, it's looking like the DAZN is willing to pay him. What are the DAZN paying him? It's looking like they're willing to pay him $30 million plus to fight Avni Yildirim. And then it's a global deal too. So we don't really know. I don't like talking about fighters' money no more. But it's looking like whoever's willing to pay the most for the fight, and it's looking like the DAZN and Matchroom are willing to do so at this point. And for the people who would say that they would want the fight to be on PBC, PBC would likely put that shit on pay-per-view, yo. And if you're saying that you would rather pay for it on pay-per-view than to pay $20 on the DAZN, then I'm sorry, you on some bullshit. I can't consider you a fan of the sport. So here, let's go watch a little bit of tape of my man Avni Yildirim real quick. This is from the day after. Basically, it's the World Boxing Super Series build-up content, shoulder content, but it's the epilogue after the fight. Just to give you a little taste of who Avni Yildirim is. We're not going to watch it all, skim through it for about 2 minutes or so. So once again, take your time out. Please like the video. I'm getting used to telling you guys to like the video, and you guys have been doing a real good job lately. But, I got a lot of help with the channel now coming in, and more people coming on the team, rebuilding everything. So they're telling me like, yo, bro, you got to tell people to like the fucking video. Also, I'm going to be covering ShoBox immediately after this. So yeah, here's my man Yildirim right here. You may have remembered him. He fought Anthony Durrell when it ended in a nasty cut. Yeah, he knocked him out. He knocked him out. Here, let's get to the tape. They had some fisticuffs at the press conference. Not fisticuffs, but, you know, talking some shit. You heard that Chris Eubank Jr. knocked him out. He did knock him out. In fact, let's get to the tape. Where the tape at? Let's get to the tape. And no disrespect, Eubank Jr. has gotten better. I've covered Eubank Jr. since he was like fucking 11-0 with some shit, maybe earlier than that. So I know, you know, Eubank Jr. has gotten a lot better. But at this point in time, it's like he wasn't as good as he is now. So therefore, it's like Avni Yildirim losing to Chris Eubank Jr. To me, it's like, yo, Avni Yildirim gonna get his shit pushed in by Canelo. You know? So just imagine what Canelo's gonna do to him. And that's why Canelo's, you know, confident in fighting him in a quick turnaround fight and then fighting again in May. I think, yeah, I don't remember. I covered the fight. Was Yildirim defeating Durrell and then the cut? I think I remember that. I think I remember. Let me see. Let me go see what did I call that fight. Let me see. What did I call that fight? Durrell versus Yildirim T Street. Let's see. Yildirim. Durrell Yildirim post-fight result. I will keep him out. Talks retirement. What did I say? Let me see what I said.
Play announcer for me for a moment. I'm not a fighter. You know, I felt like Yildirim was pressing a lot of the fight. I feel like Yildirim was pressing a lot of the fight. But it was a lot of good exchanges back and forth. It was a good fight.
So to refresh your memory, the fight took place on February the 26th of 2019. That was Avni Yildirim's last fight. Did he fight somebody after that? He's been off that long? But judging by the comments, people saying Durrell's the weakest champ at 168. This was a shocking robbery. So basically people saying, judging by popular opinion in the comments, this was unfair. Avni is the real champ. So basically, judging by the comments, Avni beat Anthony Durrell or should have won. And I'm guessing I'm pretty shocked after I'm reading the cards. Look at my face. Let me see here. What's going on here? Let's see here. Let's see here.
Your observation, play announcer for me for a moment. I'm not a fighter. You know, I felt like Yildirim was pressing a lot of the fight. I feel like Yildirim was pressing a lot of the fight. But it was a lot of good exchanges back and forth. It was a good fight. Now, they may fight on their own afterwards. Scheduled for 12, over in 10. Officially technical split decision, and I look at the new WBC super middleweight champion. We're going to try to track the headbutts, the body punches, the blows.
Oh, we're going to talk. This was a good fight.
Over the left eye that they said was manageable in the corner.
Listen.
Durrell, live on FS1 Premier Boxing Champions. We have a new champion and a lot of controversy.
Hey, in 3 languages, this belt stays in American, Jack.
I forgot about that. I remember that fight now. In 3, you heard him? You heard what his brother said? Listen in. Andre Durrell. Listen in.
Champions. We have a new champion and a lot of controversy.
Hey, in 3 languages, this belt stays in American, Jack.
Damn, I remember that fight. Well, anyway, once again, I don't rate him, Avni Yildirim, that highly. 21-2 with 12 KOs from Turkey, alias Mr. Robot. Last fight, by time he fights Canelo, if it is on the 27th of February, it'll be a 2-year layoff. 2+ year layoff. 2 years and 1 week. Two years and 1 week. The lamb being led to the slaughter. Well, hey, at least he getting his shot. At least he getting his shot. You know? At least he getting his shot. You know, we got to call fair. And who's Billy Joe Saunders going to fight? Is he going to just stick it out until May? He better not get injured or get no COVID or fail no fucking drug test. I think Billy Joe should keep it busy. Maybe get on the undercard against some old, you know, if Canelo can do a quick turnaround. You think they can find a fight for Billy Joe? I'm not high on Benavidez. Benavidez hasn't done anything for me. And then remember, he fought Ronald Gavel twice. He hasn't done anything for me, man. And he really kind of fucked PBC over. That WBC belt, that, mind you, he lost pretty much twice. That was very valuable to them. And that's why they really, you know, trying to spin the bank on Canelo. According to The Athletic, PBC offered Canelo a 3-fight deal worth $75 million. The first fight would be Jamal Charlo at a catchweight of 166, excuse me. Caleb Plant at 168. And then I forgot who the third fight was, even if it was mentioned. But Billy Joe, to be honest with you, if this was at 160, I gave Billy Joe a chance to defeat Canelo. At 168, I don't like 168 Billy Joe. I don't like it. I don't know if Billy Joe can do it. You know? The WBC, just like they did Devin Haney dirty, they did Jamal Charlo dirty first when they made him the franchise champion, meaning Canelo. They was bitching. They were scared to order the Jamal Charlo fight. Like I wanted that fight bad. That's how the WBC franchise bullshit started, because they scared of Canelo to order him to fight somebody. So Canelo kind of doing them a favor, you know, by like saying like, no, I don't want the franchise. I want to fight Avni Yildirim. You see what I'm saying? For the real belt, not the status belt. Like, that was a bullshit, cop-out, duck bullshit belt. Fuck, it's not a belt, it's a status. Like, that WBC franchise shit, you know? I'm not high on Caleb Plant either. Mostly because I watch boxing. I wasn't really high. I wasn't really high on Jose Uzcategui, who got beat up by Matvey Korobov, who I'm high on. You see what I'm saying? And so, in my opinion, yeah, I mean, and Subway Mike Lee, I'm supposed to be excited for Subway Mike Lee. Yes, Lawrence, I'm here, bro. I'm here, bro. And yes, I'm covering ShoBox, man. Shit. I told y'all how I'm punishing myself for not covering the Ioka versus Tanaka card. I covered every fight at 112, every championship fight at 112, and I think I did 108 too, and then I missed that bullshit, so I got to cover ShoBox cards for punishment and some bullshit. By the way, since we're going to be moving on to the next topic, so basically every day we're doing 1 hour boxing streams. I'm trying to figure out the time slot of them, and then as I'm really, you know, I got this whole new setup going on here, you know? So I'm still fine-tuning shit and trying to find a time slot before we move into the podcast. Tomorrow, just getting some notes out the way. Tomorrow at, Lord knows I forgot what time. Anyway, we're going to be streaming the Caleb Plant versus Caleb TRUAX media conference call. And I'm going to get some questions in, so don't be surprised if Caleb Plant gets a little arrogant. He does when people media ask him shit. He be a little funny with that. But we're going to be streaming that live. I forgot the time, but I'm going to put the link up for you guys. And in a half an hour, ShoBox is going to be starting. And God knows I forgot who's on the card, even though we did a preview show just a couple of days ago. So, you know, or was that yesterday? My memory be fucked. So, what other spring cleaning do we have to do here? We already talked about Canelo versus Avni Yildirim. If you don't know, nothing is official yet with Canelo versus Yildirim. Nothing is official yet with Canelo versus Saunders. No, it's not official yet that Canelo is signing a 2-fight deal for Yildirim in February 22nd, and Billy Joe in May. In fact, just to recap for you, to play the same clip over again, it was only about 2 minutes long, from the Pug and Cope show. I'm a subscriber to The Athletic. You need to watch out for those coops, because I get it for $1 a month, you motherfuckers. So obviously we can't play the whole thing, but I did put it down below, the link to it down below in the description box, and boom, there's it right there in the chat. So here, let me rewind back a little bit, and they had Eddie Hearn on the show and basically breaking down the details of what's going on with Canelo versus Yildirim and Billy Joe Saunders in the zone deal. All right, and they're trying to put it down in Miami. So I got my little timestamps here. Hold on, give me a minute. Start right here. Please subscribe, like the video on T Street Controversy with FV360.com.
Reynoso. We know that he has the Yildirim mandatory, which he wants to fit in between his notorious schedule of May and September, which is great to see him so active. We are in discussions with a couple of venues at the moment, and I'm hoping we can get there. Hoping that we can finalise a deal. I think it's 6 weeks away, so we really need to get that announced this week. And hopefully he chooses us. It would be a real honor to promote Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, Eddie, I was told that the major deal points at least were already agreed to with you and Canelo's side. Obviously, you need a site, and we know Texas has shut down boxing for the foreseeable future. Does Miami make the most sense? We heard you talk about that in the past.
Yeah, I mean, we have had a couple of conversations with Miami, the Hard Rock Arena there, Miami Dolphins, which is an incredible venue. And, as a fight fan, as a Brit, it'd be an honor to promote an event at the Miami Dolphins ground. We know that Miami has been hot and cold, mainly cold for boxing over the years, but it's always I've always had that curiosity as to why. It is one of the states that is open right now. It is one of the states that's holding major events. I guess it's more of a risk in terms of numbers than Texas because of the lack of major fight events there. But Canelo Alvarez is someone that transcends that. I think this isn't an unknown world champion. This is one of the biggest stars in the sport, if not the biggest star in the sport. So, I think that wherever you go will be interesting, and it would be nice to do something different. But I do love Texas, and I did love being there in December. We are talking to Brian Francis and the Texas Commission there because it looks like we'll hold Chocolatito against Estrada there in March. And if we can squeeze one more in on February 27th, that would definitely be a great option for us as well.
Great. When do you expect to hear from Texas, Eddie, to get that, kind of tightened up as to where you're going?
I think probably in the next 48 hours, Lance. I mean, obviously it's frustrating because February 27th is 2 days away from March, when they plan to sort of reopen boxing, if you like. And it is Canelo Alvarez. It is a great opportunity for Texas, for the.
So obviously we can't play the whole shit. You can go listen to it on your own. It's only $1 a month. So I think that was kind of like a little bit of a low-key confirmation, a little bit, or a bit of a hint, because it doesn't seem they want to find. They can't announce it until they get the venue sorted. So he said they're going to find out something in the next 48 hours or so. And that's news to me. That shows you how rusty I am, because I didn't know that they stopped boxing in Texas. I wonder how many people got COVID at those events. Anyway, moving on. So, let me see. What is my next topic? I'm glad I'm putting that shit down in the chat now. News on Joshua versus Fury. It is also not confirmed yet that the WBO is going to allow for the fight to happen. In fact, Eddie Hearn had also on this podcast, another 2-minute little excerpt. The whole show itself is what, 46 minutes long? So I'm only playing 4 minutes. They can, that's fair use. Nothing's confirmed with that either. And it seems as though Usyk wants what? What's the rumor going around? Here, let's pull up the story here. Let's go full screen, all right? Let's do a little bit of reading rainbow. So this is from Sky Sports. This came out earlier today. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury takes huge step forward as WBO contact Alexander Usyk, who may fight Joe Joyce. And this article, according to Usyk's manager, is that the Joe Joyce versus Usyk rematch, where they fought like amateurs, the Joe Joyce versus Usyk fight is in the works. I like that fight. I love that fight. I'm like kind of salivating a little bit. boxing is looking pretty good in 2021, man, because these motherfuckers can't be on the shelf, you know? Early negotiations have now begun to pit Usyk against Joe Joyce, who is ranked number 2 by the WBO for the organization's interim title, meaning Joshua Fury can take place next, with every major championship heavyweight division at stake. So, of course, if you're Usyk, what would you try to do, right? Wouldn't you try to get some money from Joshua and Fury? Like, hold up, no, I don't want no interim belt. Give me some step-aside money, because that's free money, basically, right? Because the winner of Joshua Fury is still going to have to fight Usyk, because, you know, or Usyk or Joe Joyce winner. So you can't really be mad at Usyk team for trying to get some money. You know, and like, no, fuck that interim shit. Usyk's promoter Alexander Krosyuk exclusively told Sky Sports, "I received a call from George Warren, the son of Joyce's promoter Frank Warren, with an offer to promote Usyk versus Joyce for the WBO Interim Heavyweight Championship this spring." We also received a letter from the WBO saying they are considering granting the sanction for AJ versus Fury. So basically the WBO reaching out like, all right, listen, this is what we're trying to do. We're looking like we're going to let the fight go through. So what you want to do? But Usyk has never received any serious offer, nor anyone approached him with offer to step aside. We all read it from media. So there's no, like, Usyk wants some money, pretty much. He wants some money. I mean, can you blame him? Can you blame the bloke? He like, hold up. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe he'll fight. I mean, maybe his argument is, I'll fight for the interim title, but give me some bread. Like, how y'all gonna just do me like that? And to be honest with you, from what I've seen from boxing, and I think I kind of agree with him. I think he should get some type of compensation, right? I mean, now how much compensation? Now, Eddie Hearn has been vocal and talking about, like, and telling the WBO and the sanctioning bodies, look, this is the biggest fight, could be the biggest heavyweight fight in history. We'll drop these motherfucking belts and just move on with the fight without you. And we got to pay you, too, to put on the fight? I mean, for the sanctioning fees? So I'm all with it. I'm all with it. Should I play this? They're probably not going to let me play it because of... Oh, shit, they did. I'm going to be careful with this. I don't trust them. Here, let's do it this way. Let's see what he has to say.
This fight's been brewing for a long time. They've been avoiding me for a long time. And now it's finally got to happen. They either run away from the fight and announce it publicly or take the fight. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation for him.
The fight itself, is there a timetable you'd like to see this? Because people have said late May, June possibly, and some people are hoping the all-British fight will be in the UK.
You know, whenever the fight happens, it happens. You know, I'm not in a rush. I've not got 6 months to live or anything like that. But you know, it's the world's in a pandemic situation at the moment. It's not just me and my sport that's affected. It's the whole world is affected with COVID-19. So, you know, whenever the world gets back to normal, whatever normal may consist of after this pandemic, then that's when the fight's going to happen.
We're going to read you a quote that Anthony Joshua told The Guardian yesterday. He, being you, knows what's coming and, quote, I want to take his head off his shoulders.
Nice. It's a nice quote. Yeah.
When he says something like that, does it mean anything to you?
It doesn't mean anything, you know. It's sticks and stones. You know, people say a lot of stuff and then they don't back it up. So we'll see. I've never seen him take anybody's head off anybody's shoulders in all his 22 fights. So probably a lie, another lie. And we'll see if he's got the guts to try and do it when I'm stood in the ring in front of him. I don't believe he has. But we'll see.
I saw you on Sky recently where you said that you would take him out with inside 4 rounds. Is that right? Tell me why you believe that.
Believe it. I don't think he's as good as people crack him up to be, or he doesn't believe he is his own self. He's got a confidence issue. He's coming off of 2 shaky performances, and boxing's all about in form. Who's in form and who isn't. On his last 2 fights, he's not in form. On mine, I am. So.
Nah, just some trash talk. So it's looking like the fight's going to happen. Or at least, you know, both sides in regards to Joyce and Usyk's teams are on board. I think it's fair outcome for Joe and Usyk to contest for the interim title, as AJ Fury is the biggest fight in the world in boxing, and it's only right for the undisputed world heavyweight title. Joyce previously told Sky Sports about taking on Usyk. Chisora put up a valiant effort, but Usyk's skills were better. Against me, it would be a different story. So, let's go back and watch some tape. I got some tape for you. You know these guys fought in the amateurs, right? Usyk fought a lot of people in the amateurs. And you know what's even crazier? Is that Shawn Porter is supposedly had beat Usyk in the amateurs. I want that tape. Shawn Porter. Yes, 147 pounds Shawn Porter. And meanwhile, you got Usyk laying hands on motherfuckers like Bertabiev and Joe Joyce and God knows who in the amateurs. It's crazy how life works. But yeah, here they go right here. Getting it in. Hold up. Let's watch some tape.
Try and show us why he's an Olympic champ.
Let's watch some tape. Let's do it this way. Oh, but I don't have a banner up. Oh well, fuck it.
Even with those skills that he's got.
Well, the boy from southwest London has travelled to the East End tonight. And can Joe evenly matched in the first so far?
That's better from Joyce. Got to get to his man. Usyk is actually boxing very sensibly here, Nick. Look, as soon as he hits the ropes, he moves. Good shot from Usyk as well. That left hand is in and out. This is clever. Not getting involved at all. It's horses for courses at the end of the day, and he knows that by boxing at distance, that's...
All three judges have Usyk the better of the two. So, a little more urgency in the work here now. And Joyce catches Usyk and knows it. Change of tactic from the British Lionheart.
Better start to the round from Joe Joyce. The corner have said to him, get on that front foot, close that gap down. He's just got to keep that right hand a little bit higher as he's walking forward, because he keeps walking on to the straight left of Usyk. Suited Usyk a little bit more, to be quite honest. That's better from Joyce. He's got to up the tempo, up the work rate here.
Come on, Joe Joyce, keep them going.
Through, there it is there. He's definitely going to catch Usyk. Better from Joe Joyce. He's in focus as he's coming forward. And there's that left hand again from Usyk. Keep the guard up, Joe. Just a few seconds left. A tactic from Usyk. He's starting to come forward a little bit more. He's trying to counter-attack. He's trying to actually beat his opponent to the shot. And here's an example of that. With those fast darting attacks that he's doing. He's beat.
He only took up boxing in his early 20s. He's only 27. No more than 5 years experience. His learning curve has been really quite remarkable in the pro ranks of the WSB. And as you quite rightly say, Richie, he's given an Olympic
turn into southpaw. Well, there you go.
From the Olympic champion, former world champion. And again, 2-3-4 punch combination from Usyk.
Slipping from side to side, and he's looking to land that left-hand counter as Joyce throws the single shot. So double it up. That'll give him more problems. Oh, lovely little right uppercut on the inside there from Joyce. That was better. Usyk getting confident now as he's coming forward, but making mistakes himself and leaving himself more open.
Well, showboating from the Ukraine.
A little bit too much for Joe Joyce in terms of that beating him to the punch. Oh, lovely combination.
Time for your winner and representing.
I've been pretty high on Usyk for quite some time. Let me tell you something. I believe, what fight was it? I believe it was his first fight. Let me pull up his resume. Was it the first fight on HBO where I binged all of his fights, and it wasn't that hard to do in like 2 days or some shit like this, because people were telling me for years, yo, you got to watch Usyk. You ever seen Usyk? And I wasn't covering the cruiserweight division like that. But ever since I jumped on board, I was like, yo, dude is nice. Like, dude is nice. 18-0 with 13 KOs. Now, however, I was on pins and needles when he fought Chisora, because he was dodging some of them shits by just like a hair, like a cunt hair, like just a thin curly ass hair. 34 years old, 18-0 with 13 KOs. And also, I used to think he was some type of like Nosferatu like type motherfucker, man. Because when I used to see him fighting, he used to have like these weird ass, like, you know, hairstyles and, you know, just an eccentric character. He's a funny dude. I met him too, by the way. I met him at a hotel down in South Philly by the airport for, what was that? Bertha B.F. Volsdick, I think. Random ass place. So yeah, Derek Chisora, Chaz Witherspoon. I don't know. I'm not at heavyweight, man. It's risky watching him at heavyweight. By the way, let's go look at his amateur record. Here's his World Boxing Series. That's not the amateurs. That's it's considered like between the pros or some shit. 111 and 16. Now this is according to BoxRec, of course. Everything may not be here, but just some of the names overall on his resume, from the amateurs to the pros. Let's go all the way down. He got Junior Fi on this joint. Pulev brother Tervel, he the one who outed Jenny Bad Sushi as being, you know, bad sushi. Berta BF on this joint. Berta BF again. Homie was out here doing work. Was out here, a whole lot of Sergeys and Serheys and Alexanders and Mikkels up in this joint. Danny Price. I don't know fucking Danny Price. Why am I acting like I know him? Then let's go to the second page. Who else on here? I'm just trying to see if there's any names that stick out. They go Berta BF. How many times he fought? They go Sean Porter. Sean Porter beat him at the, let's go look at this event. Let's go look at this event.
Yeah, he's gonna like it. He's gonna get it from a real man. Damn woman beaters. We're gonna beat that woman beater down.
Damn women beaters. Anyway, Dream Chaser _CJ has just donated $19.99 through Super Chat. Must have learned it from his dad. Bro, Usyk is great, but he's not ready for the top heavyweights.
Thanks, bro. I mean, I agree. I just, like, put it this way. I'm scared what's going to happen to him when he really get hit. Let me tell you. I mean, he's got a high ring IQ, but how long can he keep dodging all them shits? Motherfuckers going to be trying to take his head off. And he's small up there, too. You know? I don't know, bro. Because he started loading up on shots later on in the fight against Del Boy. And he couldn't, like, hurt him or buzz him or nothing. Like, he was, like, landing like Chris. But thanks, Dream Chaser. But anyway, yo, look at this card at the Harvey Boxing Club in Harvey, Illinois. You had Sean Porter, Alexander Usyk as the main event. Keith Thurman versus Alexander Stretchkey. Markston some shit versus David Clark. Look at this card. Bro, look at this card. This card is fire. You got the Zara Glaskov was on that joint too. He disappeared after Charles Martin. Why am I so hyped? I want this tape. I want this tape. Somebody got it. I'm about to call it the Harvey Boxing Club and be like, yo, they got to release the tape. But anyway, moving on. I have concerns. In fact, let's do it this way. I do have concerns for Alexander Usyk at heavyweight. And even if he is fighting Joe Joyce, somebody who he's defeated before in the past. Let's go back full screen. Of course, you know, Tyson Fury, WBC, Anthony Joshua, WBA Super, IBF, and WBO. Manuel Char is going to be taking on Trevor Bryan. Manuel Char's having some issues getting into the States. Many are wondering if that card is going to take place at all. Trevor Bryan, WBA interim champion. Yes, the WBA has 4 belts at heavyweight. Them pieces of shit. I hate the fucking WBA. You make me sick. Don King is hoping to get one final big super major cash out with his fighter versus Manuel Char, who hasn't fought since, what, 2016 or some shit, by the way, to get Anthony Joshua. And he's going to push for the mandatory. Alexander Povetkin and Dylan White are fighting in a career match on March the 5th. Yes, you might as well say that's a career match. To be the mandatory for Tyson Fury. Yildirim Usyk, Joe Joyce, as we talked about, looking like they're heading to WBO interim fight, but Yildirim Usyk wants some compensation, some type of step aside. Charles Martin and Deontay Wilder have been hinted at and rumored, and you have had Shelly Finkle confirm that. Deontay Wilder is also seeking compensation if Fury versus Joshua goes through. He's not stopping it. The fight is not going to be able to stop. The $32 million compensation is looking like fucking complete bullshit. Here, let's start right here. Well, let's actually end right here. These last 10 minutes, since we got to move over to the ShoBox card.
At a point where some of the sanctioning organizations even have to...
Hold on. My bad. Give me a minute. Hang in there, guys. But yeah, we're going to be doing hour-long boxing streams every day. Hopefully, if time permits, but definitely 5 days a week. Trying to finalize the time slot here. But let's go right here. Please subscribe.
I have a huge amount of respect for Maurizio and the belts. But this fight, it just tells you who is the best, doesn't it? You know, there's no arguments. You know, Mike, you believe that Fury wins this fight. If Anthony Joshua wins this fight, you have to sit there and say he's the best heavyweight in the world. And vice versa for me. You know, if it doesn't go our way, Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. But this is the first time in a long time that you can genuinely say it. And that, for me, is bigger than the belts. You know, that's about proving who is the best, who is the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As boxing goes, is how the heavyweight division goes. So just a couple things on when you talked about the devils and the details. Is there still talk about having a second fight being part of this deal? And I had heard that there's some momentum being made that maybe you can keep the WBO belt to be part of this fight.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, it is a 2-fight deal. You know, that's part of the agreement of the fight. I think these guys could fight 4 or 5 times, and maybe you end up seeing that. With regards to the WBO belt, that's still ongoing. I mean, once this deal is made, we'll write to all the governing bodies and we will say, do you want to be part of the biggest fight of our era? Do you want to be part of the biggest fight in boxing? Do you want to be part?
So pay attention. He's confirming that nothing is done with the WBO yet. No step-aside agreement. They haven't officially, even though they've reached out to Yildirim Usyk's team, as we talked about earlier, to be like, yo, basically, what's the possibilities? You know, I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Usyk's team has confirmed that they've gotten a letter from the WBO about fighting for the WBO interim. And Eddie Hearn, according to this interview yesterday, we don't know when they recorded it, but it was uploaded from the Pug and Cope show from The Athletic. I posted it down below in the description box and on the chat. He's saying right here, right now, that nothing is really confirmed yet. And that he's going to be, once the fight and the location and the date is confirmed, they're going to reach out to the WBO and the sanctioning bodies like, look, you know, do you want to be a part of this? But I'm going to let him explain it. So, of course, once again, we're not going to play everything else. We're going to be wrapping up the last 7 minutes, and then I'm going to be covering ShoBox. And I'll be back tomorrow with a live stream, maybe 2. And I may be here tomorrow morning. I'm waiting for some more research and confirmation to be able to stream the UFC press conference at 8 a.m. That's because it's in Abu Dhabi, 8 a.m. Eastern. So my bad if I'm talking fast. We're trying to keep the show under an hour. Please subscribe. Like the video.
seeing that. With regards to the WBO belt, that's still ongoing. I mean, once this deal is made, we'll write to all the governing bodies and we will say, do you want to be part of the biggest fight of our era? Do you want to be part of the biggest fight in boxing? Do you want to be part, and are you happy for this fight to be undisputed? And that question mainly goes to the WBO. You know, I've had some great conversations with Paco and Gustavo at the WBO, who are fair people. You know, on one hand,
he deserves compensation,
fight, right? You can't stop this undisputed heavyweight fight, because if we do, we might as well, like I said, with the governing bodies, we might as well pack up. But at the same time, you can't disrespect and disregard the position of Alexander Usyk, the mandatory challenger. So we have to make sure that Usyk is happy. We have to make sure that there's a fair resolution. But we also must make sure, quite frankly, that all the belts are on the line, because that's what AJ's always wanted. And just in my arguments, you know, I said if one belt's missing, we might as well vacate all the belts, because this fight, the value in this fight is it tells us who the best heavyweight in the world is, and it gives the winner the chance to be undisputed and win all the belts.
You know, Eddie, I would really love to see you, Joshua Fury, and everyone get together and throw all the belts in the trash at the press conference to kick it off. But I don't think you guys have the balls to do it.
By the way, follow me on Twitter. I put the link right down below in the description box. And basically, Eddie Hearn just pretty much sent a threat to the sanctioning bodies like, yo, you know, don't get in the way of this fight. Or, you know, we may have to drop. The only belt that's really the issue is the WBO. Pretty much. That's who we talking to. Pretty much. So, once again, turning over a new leaf around this joint. We will be here every day. Unless time, you know, if time permits. I got 2 trials coming up. January the 26th and February the 9th. So once those are over, it's free game until, you know, I got another trial sometime in the next, but that's going to take like 2 years. So we good. So basically, this year, we're starting off the year fresh. You know, getting back on our grind. Watching ShoBox and degenerate cards and shit. We got some pay-per-views coming up. Let me tell you what they are. January the 29th, Don King has a pay-per-view on DonKing.com. It's $20. It's supposed to be Manuel Charr versus Trevor Bryan, Bermain Stavern versus God knows who. Chris Lovejoy's probably not on it no more, and who else is it supposed to be? Anyway, I'm buying that shit. February the 6th, you're going to have the return of Austin No Doubt Trout taking on Ryan Garcia for $15 on Fight.tv. I'm going to be buying and covering that shit. On March the 5th, Women's Day, you got Carissa Shields versus Marie DeClaire, forgot her name, the Canadian chick, for 154-pound title. Got that press release. I don't know, you know, the full details of that card. All I know is that it's also on Fight.tv for $30. All right? It's 3 pay-per-views right there. You got Mayweather versus Logan Paul. I paid for that shit. It's going to be on FanMeo. I paid, what was it, $25? You guys, if you're not streaming it illegally, you bootleggers, you're no good. You're going to probably be paying, what, like $70? How much you charging for it? $70? We're going to be doing some shoulder and build-up content for that, too. I'm waiting for some information. And then you have Jake Paul, who's going to return in April with a pay-per-view. And then let's not talk about all the PBC fighters who got pay-per-views coming up. And Ryan Garcia basically saying, or it's being said that it's not Tank Davis that he's supposed to be fighting. And he's now a minister, Ryan Garcia. Shout out to him. So with that being said, I'm going to get the ShoBox, go put some chicken in the oven. I'm going to cover this shit out this ShoBox card. I'm going to be up early in the morning for the Conor McGregor press conference at 8 a.m. Eastern. I'm always up at 4 a.m. anyway. And then moving on from there. Please subscribe. Take your time out, like the video. I am T Street Controversy with FightG360.com. See you.